Okay, so group cultural exchange is a new name for group study exchange. And as far as our district is concerned, they're almost identical. And I will explain that a little bit further. But one of the objects of Rotary says, the fourth object is the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. Rotary addresses that in a number of ways, starting with our high school youth and youth study exchange, then moving into the group cultural exchange for young adults, VTT, which is a vocational training team, which is different than a group cultural exchange, and finally, for those who just want to travel and open a new door for themselves, Rotary Friendship Exchange. They're all different programs. My dad was the district governor of District 510. That tells you how long ago it was. That is now 5,100. And that's the Portland area, the northern part of our state. When I was going through his files after he passed away, I found this quote on a letter from one of the group cultural exchange, at that time group study exchange, team leaders, and it said, "The warmth that we shared with the people there will remain our most cherished possession for the rest of our lives." And that is what any exchange is. It's the development of friendships, of interaction. It's the development of peace because we know somebody and we've learned much more about their culture and their way of being. So what is GCE? It's a vocational and cultural exchange opportunity for young adults between the ages of 25 and 45. It's an opportunity to develop professional and leadership skills through visits abroad to another country, and to develop or to learn about how somebody else deals with the same kinds of problems and issues that you deal with in your own profession. It furthers international understanding by allowing people to meet, talk, live with each other, laugh with each other, cry with each other, to get to know each other's problems as well as their aspirations. No matter where you go, we all have, quite honestly, the same aspirations and the same kinds of problems, but it's the aspirations that we really share. Everybody wants to do well, everybody wants to be loved, everybody wants to be understood. And it does develop lasting friendships. I cannot tell you how many new friends I have met through this program, and I have only been on the committee or chair of it for a very short time. The teams that go really do bond with each other. I said before that group cultural exchange used to be the group study exchange. Group study exchange was dropped by RI about 5 years ago. It was a fully financed program by RI, and they did away with it. Apparently they felt didn't need it. I really want to thank this district, and particularly Bill Greil, who is one of those who said, no, this is an important program and we really want to continue with it. It is because our district places so much importance on international exchange that we are able to do this with the districts. It is an intensive program. It's a rigorous program of international travel and participatory activities. The activities fall into 4 categories. 50% plus of the activities are to be vocational in nature. When we send a team of 4 people, those 4 people do not have to share a common vocation. And the visitations that they do abroad typically are visitations apart from each other so that they can learn more about their own profession as it is practiced in another country. Sometimes they do group activities. Sometimes you get two people with one vocation. When I look at the pictures on here, I see a librarian. I see somebody who worked in the wine industry, a social worker, a farmer, an artist, a muralist, a clothing designer, and an IT person. And those are just from the people that I know from here. There's no requirement for what the vocation is. The requirements for attending really are based on how much you want to get out of that. The fellowship that develops, I relayed earlier how close people become. The teams actually become very close to each other, but also the teams become very close to the families that they stay with. So even if you're not involved as a team member, Rotary around our district is involved through visitations, through the arrangements of vocational visitations, social visitations, cultural visitations. The top picture that you see under fellowship, obviously this one, Germany, it must have been a soccer match. I don't know those folks, but that's what I get out of that one. The bottom picture, this was in the West Bank of Israel, not in Israel proper. We arranged a special trip for this group to visit the West Bank. It's 110 degrees. And the fellow in red and blue, he looks a little more put together than the others. He lives there. He's used to that heat. He's a Palestinian fellow who gave a tour, and part of this tour was for the group to go for a day and to learn about the Palestinian narrative and how it compares with the Israeli narrative for peace in the Middle East. And as you can see, they were about dead when they got done. Cultural activities, Ryan in that particular picture is at the Baha'i Gardens in Haifa in Israel, but cultural activities are just all over the map. Wherever people go, they visit and are able to see new things and engage in new activities. And Rotarian involvement, from the picture that you see there, we have a group that was from, I think they were Finland, that came to our district, and they attend Rotary meetings, Rotary functions, Rotary projects. And involvement in Rotarian projects and meetings also qualifies as a vocational activity. So it's far more than just a fun trip abroad. A team consists of 4 members. We've had 3 or 4, but typically 4 members between the ages of 25 and 45. We want somebody who is employed, and that's part of the reason for that requirement. They do not have to be a local Rotarian. They do not have to be a Rotarian at all. They can be. So either way, and part of the lure of having a non-Rotarian on the team is to show them the family of Rotary abroad, bring them into the fold, as we might say. Must be a U.S. citizen, must work or live in District 5110. So that would be anywhere from Salem down to, or not Salem, excuse me, south of Salem, Albany, Corvallis, down to Northern California, from the Bend, Redmond area to the coast. Again, must be currently employed for at least 2 years on a full-time basis. There is no language requirement, but any kind of language study does help us, or does help that person understand what it means to travel abroad or know a different culture. Team leaders, there is one team leader for the team with no age requirement, older than the team, younger than the grave, and able to relate to these young people. I call them young people. To me, they're young. They're my children's age. Must be a U.S. citizen with travel experience, good physical health, flexible, organized, may not be a prior team leader. This is the person that is going to coalesce the team around their trip. This is the person who is going to interact with the other country and their team leader or their counterpart to me. And a team leader may not travel with their spouse, which you may go, but I want to take my husband or my wife with me, but it's a working position, and we all know that it doesn't work well. I'll just say that. And I have taken a team. I took a team to Guatemala, and quite frankly, I was glad to not have to have an extra person potentially there. And he's sitting right next to me, but I still love him. Outbound costs. Currently, because RI does not fund it at all, we have a per person assessment of $700 for the experience, but that's it. Then District 5110 provides, it says, the most economical round trip airfare between the home and the host country. We don't go so economical that your basic economy, you know, which is the one where you can't breathe without paying for it. And we try to make it a reasonable trip, but we do look for an economical fare. And then when our team gets there, or the inbound team gets to us, all of the generous Rotarians in our host area provide meals, lodging, entrance fees, group travel in the district. And truly, both sides, whether it's our district or the district that is receiving us, both districts have been wonderful about providing those experiences for the participants. Team members are responsible for personal and incidental expenses. And it says here, including gas to team meetings. Yes, team meetings are held, but I think they're going to be Zoomed. And I will talk about COVID and what we're doing there in a little bit. Purchase of gifts for homes, but not for the district as a whole. We take care of that. You're responsible, obviously, for your own souvenirs and anything that takes place after the study tour. We provide not only the airfare, but out of that $700, we reimburse for a travel outfit, a presentation outfit for the team, their business cards, their, excuse my phone, their pamphlets, anything that they need in order to be able to go. Outbound expectations, so this is for the outbound team, to prepare and work as a team member. Obviously, we want the team to work together. To attend and present at the district conference, which will be early May, and next year it's like late April, early May. To represent Rotary and District 5110, as well as the US in general, so nothing too far about, you know what I'm saying. Be on the lookout for global projects. When I took the group to Guatemala, we identified a number of global projects. Every single club that we visited presented us with a project and a request for funds. We do not respond to those requests for funds. What we do say is we will bring them back to our district, we will let people know about them, and then it becomes the district or the individual clubs who have that option to support or not support. My own club, we kept in contact with a Guatemala del Norte was the name of the club, and they have a project in a place called Joya Verde, in which Rotary has built a school in this town. The school's at the base of a bowl, if you can imagine. I can't, you know, it's just unbelievable. And next door, Rotary built an anaerobic sewage plant. And the continuation of the project is to connect 90 homes that live up the sides of this bowl with bathrooms and connections to sewage. Our club, in fact, decided we wanted to help support that project. And it was specifically because of this this project, this program. I was talking with Bill at the very beginning. When the Israelis came here last year, they presented a peace forest in the south of Israel, and we helped support that project as well. The other outbound expectation, of course, is to present experience to Rotary clubs upon your return, to be open-minded, have fun, build friendships, everything that Rotary stands for. Hosting club expectations, so that when the team comes here, what we ask of you is to provide cultural and vocational visits within your own region, Rotary meetings, family time, fun. The big thing are the vocational visits. That's number one. Cultural visits number two. Maybe Rotary meetings are number two. cultural number 3, the family time, help with transportation within and between cities. We don't charge the incoming team for anything that we have picked for them to do. And if they decide they want to do a particular activity, if we agree to that as a Rotary activity, then we would pay for that. Some clubs, we do ask that clubs budget maybe $200 for an activity, for all their activities. We do have some district budget, but it is equally divided among all of the regions. So if you were to take, say, $1,000 and divide it among 6 regions, you're looking at under $200 each. So the clubs sometimes will pay for their own team members, their own, club members to do something, and the district will pay for the team members. This kind of, it's a little flux in there. Okay? So the big announcement is where it's going to go. So the 2021 exchange is currently scheduled for April 21, outbound May 21, inbound to South Africa, District 9400. If COVID prevents us from traveling at that time, it will be delayed to 2022. That's the important factor. If COVID prevents it from happening, we will delay a full year with the same exchange. And District 9400 is the northern part of South Africa, including Botswana, Eswatini, South Africa, and Mozambique. Okay, although it doesn't look like there's anybody there. Okay, all right. What might you find when you go there? This is, oh, isn't this wonderful? Diverse wildlife. And we, of course, we do know that anybody who goes would not come home without having seen the big 4, the zebras, the cheetahs, the birds, all of that. That's just to wet your lips there a little bit. And of course, an incredible history of Mandela, apartheid, all of the democracy, all of the diversity, all of the reconciliation as they show there with all of that. There was something I wanted to bring up. Oh, the age of participant. And I just want to share this again. The age for a participant is 25 to 45. And many of us, myself included, were long past that age group. But because participants don't have to be Rotarians, this is where you can reach out and help us in our job to find worthy participants who might benefit from a program like this. And that's the important part when I come to you and I say, please help me find participants for this program. Even though we're only going to select 4 across the entire district, we want to be sure there are 4 of the best. I am the chair of the Group Cultural Exchange Committee, but I'm not the whole committee. And you can see the names of others there. And of course, in your area, Alan Solomon is a fabulous, fabulous participant. These people represent Rotary clubs from Albany, Bend area, Klamath Falls, Grants Pass, Roseburg, Albany, if I didn't already say that, the Eugene area, Cottage Grove, the coast, a couple on the coast there. So any of them can answer questions. Some of them have been on their own exchanges. Additionally, any questions? I've got there my Gmail just for this program. And yes, it says GSE, not GCE. It is GSE because it's still with the old moniker. My home phone number, I'm happy to answer any questions. It's also on DECDB, District Files, Group Cultural Exchange, and it's on the website, the district5110.org. If you go to the section on Participate Now, I think is what it is, or programs, and then it's listed in there with all the attachments that you might need. That's my program. Let me unshare. Screen. I don't want to stop the share. Get there. There we go. Questions? Still muted.
Tim, I have one.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Well, you know, this whole COVID world environment that we're living in right now has just really messed up a lot of great Rotary experiences.
You're right.
And so what is the contingency plan on this? I mean, if you buy tickets and then you have to reschedule, you know, you got all this issue about uncertainty with the airlines and whether they're
right. And I understand that. We are going to hold off purchasing any airline tickets until a final decision is made. If we need to cancel it, it will not be canceled. It will be postponed a year.
Okay.
That's the big contingency, and we will not purchase tickets. We will not purchase anything that has to be returned, refunded, because we're not going to allow anybody to say make a $700 deposit and then lose their deposit.
Right.
If we get business cards, if we end up buying those and we don't go, they can be used the following year. The same thing with pamphlets, with district materials. Those can always be carried forth. But we are going to hold off. That's an excellent question, Bill. And that's a decision between Anne Marie, my counterpart, she's the district governor in District 9400. We decided that should we not be able to do it, we will wait a year. This year is so special because it's their 100th anniversary of this district. And they're planning a huge celebration, but it may or may not occur. Just to let you all know, we are monitoring. I do monitor South Africa. They are closed to the US at this time. From what I understand, Germany, it just opened borders to Europe, and the first flight arrived like 3 days ago from Germany or 4 days ago from Germany. So they're being very cautious there, better than we are here. And please don't take that politically. I'm just saying they're closed up. They have really closed up.
Well, our club has a long history of hosting. We've hosted at Tom Bennett's house. We've hosted at Dane Smith's house. We've had some great parties and great memories built on that. So
yes, you have.
I can't speak for the club, but I hope we have an opportunity to host again.
I hope you do too. And like I said, if it's not this coming May, look for May in a year from now. And get vaccinated when the vaccine comes out. I'm sorry, Tom?
Tom has a question.
Great. Thanks so much for being with us today. First, a shout out to Al Solomon, who has been longstanding coordinator for our end of it over here. Has always done a terrific job, even under some duress when his wife Jane was a little bit under the weather. Came through for us. And then a shout out for the program. Bill, you're absolutely right. Some of those events were memorable, so memorable. I am still in touch with
Rocky.
With Rocky from and every Christmas we send stuff back and forth, and that's awfully special right there. And then Ellie from Israel last year has invited me. Let's see, I think we're up to 7 times now that he's invited me to his home in Israel, and wants me to come there. And the others from Last Exchange are in touch. 3 out of the 4 members of that group have contacted me to follow up and remember our good time here in Coos Bay. It's just such a terrific program. And one of our former Rotary Club presidents came to us in Rotary after an exchange visit elsewhere. We've just gained so much from this program, Ray. We've just got to keep it alive somehow.
Yeah.
We are trying so hard to do this. And people say, well, how can you plan all this in the midst of COVID? And it's like, you have to plan. You have to do the work that puts it into place, because in the long run, it's a whole lot easier to say, we will postpone, than it is to wait, and suddenly say, oh, let's send this trip and we need to get all these people and all these activities. we are praying beyond, you know, whatever, sorry, the mouth functions, the brain ceases. Never mind. I just don't believe in this. Like you say, Tom, you still get invitations to travel. Guy and I, we were going to stay at his house in March. We were going to go. My husband and I were going to go in March to Israel before our trip got canceled. And we are every day back and forth with each other. He and Tali and Ellie, who, you know, got a promotion right after he got back. I don't know if you're aware of that. He's now, I believe, a captain in the IDF. And I talk with Alon Bendet and all of those folks. And then I still have all my contacts with the Guatemalan team. It's just, yes.
Yes.
I can go on and on. You said it. I know. We get so excited about fabulous program. And what I like about what you had to say was, it's not only the people who go who benefit. It's those of us who receive these young people.
Oh, for sure.
That also benefit. And it gives us faith for the future of our world as we look at these young men and women.
So Ray, I have a question because
Yes.
we have been recording this program with Bill's help. If he humors us, we will post this to our website, our Facebook page. If we get non-Rotarians reaching out to us with interest to put in for either next year or a future one down the road, what's the proper protocol? Is it just to reach out to Alan, or do you forward their names to you folks, or is there a specific place to direct them?
I would suggest taking them to, because it's public, taking them to the district5110.org, which is the district website, which provides a couple of opportunities. It allows them to see what Rotary is, and then to identify that particular spot. And if you'll just bear with me for a second, I'm going to see if I can just pull that up and let you know exactly where it is. Get involved. Okay, so
5110, get involved.
So it's yeah. Let me do a share screen again.
Okay.
And I'll show you where it is. Okay, so there's our district website. And at the top, you've got Home Service Membership Foundation, get involved. Just scroll down and there it is, Group Cultural Exchange, okay? And there it is. It's right there on the website. Once you do that, it'll just pop it right up there. So I think that because that's the most outward facing way to contact, and then you're not asking people to go to DACDB or forward emails, and then they can just sign up right there. There are links on that will take them to an actual application. There are links for more information about South Africa and the district itself.
Perfect.
Thank you for asking that.
Anyone else have any questions for Ray?
Ava, I
All
like
right.
your comment as well. Thank you.
Well, Ray, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking your time and your Tuesday to join us. Eva has a question.
Eva,
You got to unmute yourself.
you're muted. You are muted.
Okay, just
There.
Roberta Jimenez from Argentina stayed with me. I think Al's not on. I think it was like 4 years ago. 4 years. 4 years. She was a teacher, and I've been in touch with her a lot. And she now is a single parent of a lovely little girl, and she really wants to come back when COVID is over.
Oh, isn't that great?
So, very enjoyable to have her here. Pardon me?
Thank you for hosting.
It was fun. It was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem to, the contacts seem to run deep, don't they?
They do. They do. And the friendships just, you know, my father used to say when he my father's first love in Rotary was youth exchange. That's what got him going. And he used to say, when you have a friend in another country, there's no way you can drop a bomb on that country. It's an automatic route to peace.
That's very, very true. One question I had, how do you, maybe you addressed it and I was distracted, but how do you settle on which countries or which Rotary groups, districts to exchange with and what years that this takes place?
Bill, would you like to address that actually? Because it's done through the district governors.
Well, it is. And, you know, it's not so easy to, am I muted? No. It's not so easy to find a good exchange partner because not all countries are economically positioned to support their outbounds to our district. And so, you know, what I did when I went to the International Assembly the year 6 months before I became governor, I had a bunch of little cards printed up that showed a map of our the country with our district, the star, and I said, interested in coming to Oregon, you know, contact me. And I handed them out in elevators, I handed them out in meals, I handed them out in meetings, and so forth. And I happened to, you know, it's all about relationships. And so I happened to see this fella who was just really an interesting, striking looking guy, and kind of sniffed around and found out he was from Israel. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. We've never had an exchange with Israel in our district. And so I approached him, and he and I just hit it off instantly. And we then started working the whole email thing. And he still calls me up every once in a while. I have no idea what time it is over there. But he calls me at bizarre times on our end. And just a great guy. And so that's how we built the relationship. Every year, it's kind of the governor's burden to try to find an exchange partner. And it's not so easy. Likewise with friendship exchange, you know, you want to get a good partner. You know, the friendship exchange program is a little bit different. Ray didn't really talk about friendship exchange, but that's where the Rotarians that are outbound host 100% of the cost. And those are great relationship builders too. You know, I've often said it's great to go outbound, but it's, to me, in so many ways, equally great to host, because it brings the world to right here to Coos Bay, North Bend for us. And like Tom said, the parties that we've had at his house and out at Dane Smith's house and the tours that we've done, it's just, to me, it's the very, very best of what Rotary brings us. Selfishly, I love it.
Very true. I remember having, long before I joined Rotary, I remember Rotary Inbound Exchange coming to the local TV station and having them come through when either Dick McMahon or Ken Crows would bring them by, and meeting them, and just fascinating conversations. We've
had great relationships with the Philippines. And you'll remember there were 3 members of the Philippine group study exchange team that came to the district conference at the Mill Casino 2 years ago. I've given Paul Harris Fellows to 2 of them, and I'm just waiting for another one to come back so we can continue that tradition. But these are the best relationships that you can possibly enjoy in Rotary.
Fantastic. Well, I have to wrap this part of the presentation up because I have a couple of quick points I want to make before we wrap up the meeting and get everybody out of here at 1 o'clock. One was, this was a good tee up if you wanted to, I assume you know, Bill, if you wanted to announce the next district governor a couple years down the road.
The nomination committee met Saturday through Zoom and interviewed 3 candidates and selected, after deliberations, Jim Polk from the Rotary Club of Illinois Valley in Cave Junction. Jim has been an assistant, past president. He's been an assistant governor. He's currently our district treasurer. The only fault I can see him, he's a retired city manager, you know, so nobody's perfect, but he's going to be a great governor.
There's a trend there somewhere. I don't know. You got to be a city, you got to go through city management first, apparently. Well, it certainly helps, I think. It numbs you to all else, and then that suits you up for district governor. The other thing, thank you very much, Bill. And the other thing I wanted to remind people again, if they haven't had a chance to check out the bulletin, don't worry, my feelings won't be hurt. But if you get a chance to check it out, do so. The other thing is that coming up on Saturday is a early start to Bus Jam. And I will, if we have any new updates, I will send them out before Saturday. But Coos Bay, Port of Coos Bay, actually has been approached by the what they call them, the putt-putt cars, those mini transit cars that make their way up and down the rail line, and they wanted to do a toy drive related to the bus drive. So they're making 3 stops along the route on Saturday. They're hitting Mapleton, Lakeside, and then they're hitting Coos Bay Boardwalk to take new toys and things to be donated for the Rotary Bus Jam. And so I'm going to be down there. They're supposed to be there around 1:30. I'm going to head down around 1 o'clock as a representative for the Coos Bay North Bend Rotary Club, and encourage any Rotarian that can join me down there. I'm hoping the weather will not completely rain on our parade, but if so, I will wear a hat. But anyway, that's what's going on. They're going to be collecting toys down on the Coos Bay Boardwalk into these little putt-putt cars that will go for the Bus Jam distribution. And so, yeah, I'm inviting anyone that can join me. We will be masked and distanced as best we can. Eva, yes.
What time? Did you say?
They're supposed to arrive around 1:30. I'm going to go down around 1 o'clock. Stephanie Kilmer had emailed me saying there was that she had some more information, but I have not gotten that update. No, not that. I have not yet received that update. So if that changes in any way, I will. I'll send out an email to everybody. But that was the last I heard from both Stephanie and the port, was that it was expected to. They were expected to arrive around 1:30 on Saturday. And that is all I have. Any other news or notes for the good of the order? Well, that being the case, I will stop the recording.